41 million IQ points. That's what Harvard Medical School professor Dr. David Bellinger estimates Americans have collectively lost because of exposure to lead, mercury, and organophosphates, the most common pesticides used in agriculture. My name is Wendy Myers, and I focus on heavy metals and heavy metal detoxification, and I'm also of chemicals, of course, too. And today I want to talk to you about how to save your toxic brain. When toxins are allowed to enter the brain and central nervous system, they can cause a whole host of symptoms. I know many of you suffer from brain fog, from brain fatigue, trouble staying focused, trouble concentrating. You have forgetfulness, you have mood swings, maybe anxiety or depression, or you fear dementia as you age. And many people also have slow processing of new ideas. They have impatience or irritability and even cognitive decline. And I wanted to explain to you the exact mechanisms of how toxins enter the brain and impact functioning, causing all of these symptoms. So you have a blood-brain barrier. And so this blood-brain barrier tries to protect our central nervous system from exposures to compounds that may be inflammatory and interfere with the homeostatic mechanisms that maintain brain functioning, like neurotransmitter balance, your serotonin and dopamine, your hormone functioning and hormone balance, hormone production, and your nervous system functioning. But when we're chronically exposed to toxins like heavy metals and chemicals and pesticides and contaminants, like we are in today's modern world, the usually tight and very selective blood-brain barrier junctions here begin to warp under the pressure of all these inflammatory compounds and becomes leaky. And it allows molecules to enter through these tight junctions that otherwise would have prevented them from entering the compartment that encases our brain. This is what's called leaky brain. And metals also poison our mitochondria that power our brain. Our brain uses about 20% of the energy produced by mitochondria, and there are toxic metals like arsenic, aluminum, tin, thallium, and cesium. Cesium has entered our environment from nuclear testing and nuclear disasters, and these metals essentially poison our mitochondria's ability to make energy, to make ATP. That's the energy currency of our cells. And when you don't make enough ATP, you are not going to have enough energy to power your brain, and you're going to have trouble concentrating and thinking and remembering things. In fact, another Harvard professor, Dr. Philippe Grandjean, warns of a silent pandemic of neurotoxins destroying our brain. Your brain can be polluted with mercury, with arsenic, chlorpyrifos, with PCBs, with ethanol, so many neurotoxins, too many to list during our conversation here. And these toxins prevent your brain from performing its best. Let's go over a few. So mercury. Mercury is found in mercury fillings, in fish, industry, and all of the coal burning that happens in our environment unleashes mercury and cadmium into the air. So mercury is in our air. The toxins, the mercury in our air, settle into the oceans and then bioaccumulate in fish and shellfish. These are the primary ways that we get mercury into our body. Mercury deposits in the pituitary. That's the master gland controlling all of your hormones. The ovaries and testes producing sex hormones like estrogen and testosterone and progesterone. Pituitary controls your thyroid gland, making your thyroid hormones, which sets your metabolism. The pituitary gland also controls your adrenal stress hormones, so your adrenal gland's ability to produce cortisol and adrenaline. Mercury also inhibits nerve cell functioning and nerve cell formation. Mercury blocks your melatonin receptors needed to have a good night's sleep, which you need to have, restored brain functioning. And mercury also contributes to dementia, like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, and developmental disorders like autism. And then there's lead, which, many of you are familiar with, but do you know how it impacts your brain? Lead was emitted into our environment from the use of leaded paint, which still persists in roughly 30, maybe 50% of homes, and it gets into our bodies in that way. And it was also used in leaded gasoline, which we don't use anymore, but for decades, leaded gasoline was in use and is in use in many other countries around the world. And that got into our air and then settled into our soils, where it still persists in our animal proteins, in our vegetables, and our food-based supplements, and it's even warranted a Prop 65 label warning on so many natural food products because lead is such a huge contaminant in our food supply. Now let's take aluminum. Aluminum is pervasive in our environment. It's in all of the air that we breathe. It is in all of the antiperspirants that most people are using and slathering on their underarms every day. And it's also used as an anti-caking agent in sugar and flour and salt. And it's also in aluminum cans and aluminum foil and aluminum cookware that's used in most restaurants today. So aluminum kills our brain cells. It also causes brain inflammation. It's indicated in impairment of the functioning of nerve cells. It's neurophilic. Aluminum gets into our nerve cells and our brain tissue and in our bones as well, and causes a whole host of problems, pain syndromes, seizures, and neurocognitive issues. These neurotoxins and thousands more are poisoning our brains. They're lowering our IQs. They're causing an explosion in ADHD and autism spectrum disorders in our children. So many children are on medication when they just need their brains detox. We have widespread environmental toxins in our environment, and because of that, we're all at risk. I have dedicated my life to developing products and programs to help educate people about the impact these toxins are having on their health and causing their symptoms and how to detox them from their body. I've developed a powerful new way to detox your brain, detox your body of all these toxins contributing to so many different symptoms, not just brain issues. Just click the link below to learn more about this powerful new way to detox your brain.